December 8th, 2021. Roll call.
Dave,
Present.
Donna,
Here.
Georgia,
Here.
Skeeter, Nicole,
Here.
Oliver,
Here.
Star,
Here.
6 present.
We have a quorum, Invocation, Ms. Moreno.
Joshua, this night we ask you for clear minds and good hearts, and we ask that the decisions made here will benefit our students, parents, and staff, that there are students, people who are struggling with some emotional difficulties and difficult situations. So we pray that the things that are decided here tonight will benefit them, and that what we can do to help keep the emotional and mental health of each and every one of us high, that those things will be in our minds and forefront in our decisions. We ask that you also protect each and every one of us driving around, especially with this upcoming weather, and thank all those who helped prepare this meeting in a good mind and a good heart. God bless.
Thank you, Joe. Good evening, welcome everyone. Welcome guests. 1.3, additions, deletions to the agenda. Nicole?
Start quote bid.
Start with bid. Yeah, one, right?
Yeah.
Anything else? Also on the agenda, I'd like to move to the top RST LES. I got Mr. Duno here, Mr. Croyo here from the law enforcement. MOA with SFIS. We need to copy the agenda. Won't be here all night. They got bingo to go to, so.
Coffee go.
Anything else? If not, then entertain a motion for approval of the agenda. Nicole moved, second by Georgia. All in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Donna?
Yes.
6, opposed, 0, not voting 0. Let's get happy with MOA. Let's do that right away.
So, good evening, everybody. We'd like to have Steve and Mr. Corrigo, Chief Police, talk about the MOA and the resolution and getting us a SRO here. So, give the floor up to Steve.
I don't know if you want me to stand or sit or what, but thank you for having us tonight. I don't think we really needed to be here for this. I think everybody's in agreement that we're in need of an SRO position here at the school. But I wanted to take the opportunity to come over and introduce myself. I'm the Chief Administrator for Rosewood Law Enforcement. With me is Captain Ivor Kroegel. We were approached in the beginning of the year. We did a presentation with the staff on the drugs that are here on the reservations, and it wasn't really a presentation, more of awareness of what to watch for. And at that time, with Danny and Lee, they requested an SRO over here. I guess some of the benefits for having an SRO in the school is just with their presence, it's going to decrease a lot of the activity that's going on. The main reason for having an SRO in the school is response time. You're going to have somebody on site. You're going to have somebody in any of your activities. I guess it's up to the administration what and when they want them to work. We have one with Todd County that's been ongoing for a long time.
Almost 2 years.
And what they do is we keep them under our contract as law enforcement officers, and The school reimburses their salary, pays for their training. The officer that will be placed here is going to need to go to SRO training, which we will do probably after the school is out. Currently, what we did at Todd County is that school resource officer and the school requested a drug dog there, so that school resource officer will be going to training next month for a canine unit, which is going to be a single purpose dog just specifically for drugs, and they can utilize that drug within the property of Todd County School, or if we need them to come out and work, then that's something that we do. If he's needed in an emergency situation or whatever, that he's still an officer of the Rosewood Sioux tribe, and he is called upon when we need him. That's not listed in the MOA, but that's kind of an agreement that we have with Todd County, a handshake agreement. Is there any questions in reference to that? I think one of the things that needs to be discussed is salary. They have a grant over there that they pay their resource officer out of. I don't think that the school resource officer here is going to be as busy or covering as many community schools as the one in Todd County. Not saying that he's not going to be busy, but the officers that we have on staff now, they all are trained in drug recognition, alcohol recognition. They know the community here, they know the families, and they know a lot of the students. Just keep in mind that he's not here to be an administrative or staff pet. He's not here to enforce school policy. He's here as a law enforcement officer, and he's going to be enforcing the law of the Rosewood Sioux tribe. Those are the things that we ask. Other than that, you know, he pretty much belongs to St. Francis School. The one we have at Todd County, they don't want him to do any patrols at any other school activities. They pay his salary and his training, and they want him there at their beck and call when they have activities, and it's going to be the same way here at St. Francis. Depending on if I can get somebody on quick, and depending on if the council and the board says yes, we'll try and get an officer on as soon as possible, maybe even before Al and I, so that they can go up and basically there'll be a security guard for the school. We don't have jurisdiction to cover law up there, but they can still help the school with keeping kids in their rooms, keeping boys and girls out of each other's rooms. I was a coach for a long time at Todd County, and I sat in the hallways half the night just making sure that didn't happen with the students that I supervised, because kids are kids. They're gonna do things, whether you like it or not. If they put their mind to it, they're gonna do what they intend to do. So having somebody on board and just having that presence there is going to shut a lot of that down, and that's kind of why we're here tonight. I had already taken the resolution in the MOA that Danny and I signed. We had a meeting with her last week, went over it, and I took it to the Judiciary Committee, so it's ready for council. Depending on what you guys say here, if you say no, I'll just quash it. If not, I'll attach it to the resolution, and I told them that I don't want to say no to St. Francis. I think that they're in need of a school resource officer just like any other school. It's more power to us. The crimes and the drug use that are in our nation are very, very serious. And they're getting to be at a younger and younger age. And that's one of the reasons why we put a canine over there. We'll have 4 canines after these 2 go to training. So, if this resource officer requests a dog to come over at any time, which Lee's done twice, we can do that anytime. So that's basically all I got. If Danny has anything, or Captain, if you have anything you want to add.
Yeah, just real quick, I know when he talked about, in the previous meeting, I know that the school had hired somebody as the SRO position. But the reason we're not here just to bully our way into it, but we need this in place in order to cover the officer in liability under the Federal Tort Claim Act. We have to oversee this officer, their equipment, everything that has to do with entail with their job as far as law enforcement. Basically, it's just to protect you and protect us as far as liability within the school as far as law enforcement. Just hiring an SRO that's not blanketed by us, you wouldn't get the same quality of law enforcement if it was just to be you guys by yourself. Basically, you guys would just have a security guard, which you guys already have. So it's just not us requesting that we want this position. It's just 50-50. We blanket it, but it's just to cover liability and the Federal Tort Claim Act and oversee this officer. But with Todd County, what I just want to say is Todd County picks their schedule. Anytime it's school time months, that officer is specifically for them, wherever they need them. We don't pull Officer Denoy Bailey to help patrol functions until summer months. So this officer will be here, he'll be only here, wherever you guys see fit, the games, concerts, or whatever you guys have going on.
Dances.
Whatever you promise, whatever.
activities, yeah.
So that's just the deal. I just want to cover that part of it. Thanks.
My question was, when you talked about training, it's not specifically in this MOA, but so would the school reimburse for that SRO training as well?
Yes. That was something that we discussed with Danny last week. The reason I bring up salary is, we did have one person that was interested. Danny stated that they would match the salary. I'm not so sure that same individual is still interested, so if we get a senior officer that has a little bit of a bigger salary, I just ask that you guys match that salary. I don't know.
I think we looked at the budget and we can.
Okay. That's something that we'll figure out later. I just wanted to bring that out and let you guys be aware that all officers are certified, state certified or federally certified, so that's not an issue, but I would like to get them SRO certified.
How long is that training or that?
SRO training?
Yeah.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Is that local?
No. Well, the last training we sent Bailey to was in Florida, and they just come up every once in a while. So whoever's in this position when that training shows itself or becomes available, then we're going to get them in there as soon as we can. Hopefully in the summertime.
Can it be delivered from
I don't think they'll let it go. Is there any other questions on the board?
He's aware of it.
I have a question, Chairman.
Donna.
Good evening. The first one, I sat in judiciary when this was presented, and I think that it's needed. So I'm hoping that we move forward with it. The second one is, well, I guess the question is, any incidents that happen, I think as a school, the information needs to get to parents and guardians, like what happened. And then we waited for the police to announce. I'd like to see the police department, hopefully there's no incidents like what happened recently, but that the police department, advise the school as to what can be said to notify parents and guardians. I'm wondering if that can happen immediately. Thank you.
So I guess, to answer Donna's kind of question, the incident that happened this past week, we try to conduct our investigation and get things figured out before we put out any kind of release. I was in contact with a lot of you council people, and the school over there. I think the administration plays a big part in what they can and can't say. We did put a bulletin out on our Facebook page, and there was, I mean, it was just parents after parents calling, and, you know, I told them as much as I could. The communication portion of it is something that we discussed after that incident. Basically, what you're saying, the amount of information that we can give, especially when it comes to juveniles, is minimal. So we tried to stay to, you know, some facts, but the situation, we really couldn't say anything until we found out where this juvenile was, and things were going to be safe. I know it caused a lot of panic, but that's part of the investigation. Any investigation, we just can't throw something out there to calm people down. That's where you're going to get yourself in trouble. Danny knows that, and, you know, especially law enforcement, we can't just be saying something to appease the public. So I guess, you know, that's a really tough question, and it's hard to answer because every situation is different. With that specific incident that happened, I think we did the best that we could by putting what we did on our Facebook page. And people really pay attention to it when something serious happens.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, one of the things was a lot of parents don't have the Facebook a lot do, but it was, the protocol was followed, and that's all I can say. There's just a little bit more communication.
So,
our student communication. Thank you.
I guess, are you talking with the parents, the leadership, the school? Because I was in contact with the school district along with Lee, and, you know, all parties were kind of helping with information until we found out the core of where it was coming from. Then we put our bulletin out when things were, we thought things were safe enough to put out there to the parents, you know. But I was in contact with St. Francis, White River, and County School. As far as the parents go, informing the parents, I think that's an administrative problem.
Duty.
That's a decision that the administration has to decide what they're going to tell the parents.
All right, thank you. Yeah, we don't need to know the details of anything. Just I'll work with the superintendent on how I feel about
Council
communication.
people are the nosiest ones.
They want details.
Is there anything else? One thing that I do need to go over, I mentioned earlier that this officer that's going to be placed over here, we are a criminal program. We're not a civil program, so when it gets into restraining orders and stuff, you can adhere to them, but, you know, we're not going to throw anybody in jail because of civil matters. We're not going to get into that. That's not what we do. We're a law enforcement officer only enforces the crime that happens here and enforce the laws.
I think we have someone in mind, hopefully it works out.
I'm trying to talk to him.
Any other questions? It's highly needed, I'm sure help us. Need a motion. Cole moves for approval. Need a second. Georgia? Donna, you hear that? Got motion for approval by Nicole, second by Georgia. All in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Donna?
Yes.
6, opposed, 0, not voting, 0. Motion carried. Thank you, guys.
Okay, I want to say thank you to you guys for having us. I'm honored to be here. Danny will email me the stuff tomorrow and I'll attach it to the resolution. And Nicole can get it on the floor on next week.
21st.
21st.
Recess.
Whatever.
And then just real quick, just to what Donna was questioning or whatever, I think as far as the school body, anytime this is to happen again, I think the secure status and the lockdown status needs to be defined.
Yeah.
Because at no point did we ever put any schools on lockdown, which is secure, but it was the school, the kids in the school that were texting their parents, and ultimately secure status, that means stuff is blowing up, but it's not the case. We did what we did a really good job at it. And we pinpointed exactly where the threat was coming from, but it was just the over-exaggeration of the secure status. I think it needs to be more defined to the parents as to what exactly each status means.
We
So-
discussed that today,
Yeah.
our color codes, so
Okay.
we've got that real clear.
All right. Thanks for having us, so I appreciate it.
It did seem like a panic by the parents, but we did what we did just to be, I mean, you want to take those things serious because of what's going on in the whole nation. Had it happen some other way and something more serious happened, then, you know, it would have been bad. So, you know, just it's better to be safe than sorry. I know it puts a little hardship on the schools, but, you know, it's the safety of the students and the staff at the schools. So you guys are like parents to them when they're in school, and that's, you know, you got to protect them that way. So that's why we made the decision that we did. So thank you guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Okay, get back to the agenda, regular board minutes of October 7th, October 20th. I do believe we did have an amend on October 20th. Page 2, 10th paragraph, 4th sentence, 8th word, no, it's not. 4th sentence, vamping instead of vaping. Where is the vampire? So in addition to that one, an amendment. Any other question on the minutes? October 27 minutes, entertain motion for approval. Nicole, second. Georgia. All in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Donna?
Yes.
6, opposed, 0, not voting, 0. Motion carried. The October 20th minutes with the amendment. Georgia? Second. Nicole? All in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Donna?
Yes.
6, opposed, 0, not voting, 0. Motion carried. Moving on to 2.0. Student Council President Report. Mr. Siemens, you have the floor.
Okay, so I'd like to give a little summary of what we've been doing for the past couple of weeks. For the past couple of weeks, a lot of students have been staying after, helping out, such as training for L9. As of right now, L9 will take place from the 14th through the 19th. As far as I know right now, we currently have an art show going, chess, esports, basketball for both boys and girls. We have hand games, language bowl, knowledge bowl, archery, and even a cheer competition. That's all the events I know of LNI as so far. Next, yesterday we had a job fair, which was set up by Totuan, and along with that we had a lot of student volunteers help her out with setting up the gym for that. So, the elementary, middle school, and high school all visited the job fair and about to have a look around and get little bags of popcorn and information, such as from the CHR, RST WIC, and a couple of others. Next, gifted and talented, the middle school and high school have been decorating the high school commons for the past couple of days. So far, we set up a tree with a couple of ornaments over the lights, and we even have lights across the walls. Next, seniors have been wanting to use the concession stands for the previous basketball home games, but as of right now, we currently can't because the juniors have it handled with their junior proms. I know the seniors were requesting for like a rotation. So one game the seniors can have it, the next game the juniors can, and so on. Next, along with that, we've been smudging and having flag songs every day, but I don't exactly recall us having prayers for a while. I would like to have that addressed because I know a lot of students do take prayers a lot throughout the day. Next, I'll be working with Gina over the next couple of weeks to update the student dress code. As of right now, the current handbook, it's up to the student, the parent, and the staff member or the teacher what the student can wear. So what some teacher can say is appropriate, a staff member could say is inappropriate. So it's leaving it kind of mixed feeling for students. So I'll be working with Gina closely to fix that up. Next, for the, I think it was Monday and Tuesday, the RC COVID task force said that they were over 100 cases, and that's starting to become a little bit of a concern for me, since I know being out of school, there's a lot of students and staff inside the building. Reason why I'm bringing this up is because I've seen a couple of teachers, a couple of security guards, and not so many staff members wearing their masks, such as like keeping it below their nose or blankly not wearing them altogether. I know students do wear their masks here and there, and we can't. Some of them do keep their mask off, but I would just like to see if that can be addressed. Along with that, my final thing is that I know I work at the store All Stop, and I know a couple parents do come to me, and a lot of them say that they've been wanting to come to school board meetings. I know COVID guidelines do kind of help us regulate that, but a lot of them have said that if our students are inside buildings for hours upon hours during a day, then how come we, the parents, can't come to school board meetings? And that is everything I have.
Thank you. Very informative. Any questions for Oliver? Comments? Donna, you have anything?
No, I don't.
Okay. Thank you, Oliver. Employee Association, Star, you have the floor.
Okay. We've been having a hard time meeting with staff in general because of the staff meetings and meetings that they have to attend. So I've been doing a lot of emailing in our school email, and I sent out, which I didn't make a copy of for the board, but a form for them to fill out to have input in the policies, because that was one of our biggest things for a very long time, was having that input and ownership to that. But we are dealing with a lot of staff one-to-one, myself mainly, because of a lot of, I want to say concerns that they have. And a lot of that is just, that I share with HR, personal problems they're going through that's affecting them here at work. And looking at this, I belong to a cohort of trauma counselors that can deal with a lot of the traumas that people face, and I have 3 counselors at this time that are willing to work with our staff at this time through Zoom, but will not charge us a fee. And that's something that I would like some of the staff, if they're capable of and want to, visit with them because of a lot of, yes, the past workplace trauma or trauma that they're enduring, especially because of the holidays, and just being able to have that release. And as soon as I can get the information and contact numbers from the 3 trauma counselors, and I'll be able to give that to staff, and they'll be able to work with them at their leisure when they're able to. Basically, that's it, is just meeting with staff one-to-one on certain issues. The form that was put up by the superintendent is what we tried to make them stay in, so they don't lose their due process or their due diligence. And that's something that we need to keep pushing, because we don't want to see jumping in a chain of command and then them losing or not being able to file their grievance on whatever issue they may have. We had some concerns, just some concerns on this lockdown, and you know, a lot of our staff stepped up to comfort our children, and that was something really good to see, and just the level of communication. Maybe we missed a few things, but you know, it was there, and that's something that we don't want to prepare for, but in reality, we need to prepare for in this day and age. And we just had to, I just visited with a staff member that just had to just talk about that, feel it, and then realize that, you know, they're more than a teacher here sometimes, and just wanted to express that. So that's kind of what the association is doing at this time. We're waiting for Dan to come back from maternity leave to see his wife had twins.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's where we're at right now.
Any questions, comments for Star? Don, you have anything? Big as a no. No education report. I don't see you online. Don,
Yes.
you're up. Liaison report. You have anything for us?
Oh, yeah. We had our education meeting. We rescheduled St. Francis to January, but I'm trying to ask for a council meeting at St. Francis. I think maybe the 21st or 22nd. If not, then they'll present back at education. I guess not much. I've heard the task force and the education task force was supposed to meet and do surveys. I don't know if that happened. I did follow up on that. And I guess that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments for Don? Thank you, Don. Murray, you have a report?
Okay, on the first page, you'll see we have an update from Ike Bailey on their forensic audit exam. It was really tough for us to get records from Wells Fargo because none of us were on the accounts, and I finally got access to the accounts last month. We did get some of the bank statements and canceled checks we're looking for, but we're still missing a lot of information. So that's in your packet there, the update on the forensic audit. They hope to have everything done or draft report by January 31st, 2022 with their report. And on the cover sheet, I have all your expenditure report for the month of November, all of the funds, Fund 60 to Fund 96. Those are the expenditures. It's probably not an accurate picture because one of our EP persons were out on COVID. She had COVID. So we were down to one EP and we got backed up on purchase orders. So I jumped in and started entering purchase orders, and hopefully we'll be caught up by the end of the week. The payroll spreadsheet for pay periods 9 and 10 on the 12th and 26th. Numbers are there, 349,000 is what we run almost every 2 weeks, for a total of 697,565 for a month. The attached is the board report. You can see the checks and the approvals on there and their amounts. And then we have our payroll report and the bank account statements. And I put your beginning balance and ending balances on there. I also attached at the end of the packet a cedar that was going to be due on December 10th for $1,045,897. We have to have that either reinvested or a decision has to be made by today. I did send it out to you guys. So I just reinvested it as previously was done before. Same terms, same things as last year. So it'll be up for another year under the same terms and agreement, 52 weeks. $1,045,000. And then on the last page, I included last month's insurance cash sweep because we didn't have the current month, and we got that today in the mail, so I sent it to Marlene and she copied it off, so she gave it to you in the front part of your packets, but that's the balance of the account, the BIE account currently. We were on hold status until they received our audit for FY20. They did receive it, so they released some of our funds. And I drew those in yesterday, waiting for the rest of the funds for the ISEP and transportation. And once they put those into ASAP, then I'll draw those in. Do you have any questions for me?
Overall, we're okay now.
Yeah.
I think everyone's really sticking to their budget since they created their budgets and they know where they put their money and really being cost conscious about what they're doing and looking at positions too. So they know exactly what's in their budgets and where they put their money.
Any questions, comments? Don, you have anything?
No, I don't.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. Superintendent's report. Danny, you have the floor.
So basically, just to look at my report, is there any questions on 1 through 20? Is there anything that you want to discuss with these directors that were here? Otherwise, I'll go to school developments unless there's something in there that you would like to talk to one of our directors about in their reports or anything that you have any concerns with in one of those 20 departments.
One here for them. No, it's decent.
Well, can you improve my reports I could leave?
I just want to say thanks to the K-5, 6-8 high school reports on it. The emails we get, pretty informative, kind of keep us in line with what's going on at the school. I know we have, keeps pretty positive, it keeps us in the loop, I guess, and we trying to let you guys do your thing, we stay out, and kind of helps us see what's going on and what's happening, and it's good. As long as we thank you all for your hard work. I know it's still a tough time. Our numbers, like Oliver said, our numbers are up again. It's kind of a little scary. Hopefully we can get through this as a team. But I don't have anything. Nothing else, anything else? Don, you have anything for the directors? I hear some Tezzies growling over there, so probably Alan again. And he'll blame Becky and but it's dead, that's what you're
No, I don't.
So, the one director I I do want to bring up is Trevor, because we did make some adjustments, an amendment to the athletic manual according to what we needed to do for complaints and that, and I'll let him go over that with you guys. It's in your packet. It's in yellow, the things that we added per school lawyer.
Season first.
Excuse me?
Season.
Yeah.
If you guys are ready to go, and you could excuse you guys. We have to make an adjustment. The yellow stuff. This procedure, it's actually being you like that
Packets or just pass up? Also emailed also the athletic member. Go Trevor, you got the floor.
So basically what we added, one, underneath the chain of command, there it has a listing, we added RSP3s and Bureau of Indian Education after the school board. So that's in there. And next is the procedure for filing complaints. So making sure that we have documentation, a little more formal way of having a complaint, and also being able to create a paper trail for the complaint. So under the procedure of filing a complaint, it kind of shows you step by step. And then also I put a note to see pages 14 and 15, we could actually locate the actual forms. So on the forms, there's a form for the person that's complaining, or putting the complaint against an individual, and that's complaint form A, and complaint form B is the person that's getting the complaint put on, so they hear their side of the story as well. So both of them, are added at toward the end of the athletic manual.
We just wanted to really clarify and make it clear where the stuff would be and the procedure. We had to add that procedure in there. Although the chain of command was there, the procedure wasn't clear, so now we gave everybody the step-by-step. We're just asking for approval on the amended.
The only question I had was, number 2, within 10 school days, and Danny would say that is being consistent with other. I thought that would be too long, or It's consistent with all the rest of it. Complaint needs to be completed within 10 school days. That's one question I have.
Dina, is that's in your book too, right?
Yep.
Any questions, Trevor or Manny? Donna, did you get a chance to see that? I know it's emailed out. He's busy.
Yes, I did. But I kind of was wondering if number 2 of the first changes could kind of be added on to the complaint forms, like, is this within the 10-day limit, or on the complaint form A and B? I don't know.
So just put received and then completed on.
Yeah.
Put on there. Trevor, do you have that?
What is it?
Just put on there receive date and date.
Okay.
That way
I got the date, and then I have the date of the action causing the complaint.
Okay, and then put date of ending date or something like that.
Okay.
That we stayed within our 10 days.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Entertain a motion for approval. Nicole moves, second by Georgia. All in favor, motion, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Donna?
Yes.
5, opposed, 0. 0 not voting. Motion carried.
Thank you.
The next one is the consultant agreement with Lance Whitty. He is going to be doing our strategic planning with us up in Rapid City. He sent his consultant, it's in the packet, and then I sent the agenda to Marlene and the strategic plan PowerPoint that he gave out also. Just need approval to enter into that consultant agreement with him so that we can get our 5-year plan done.
No. I was just asking for what's coming out of that federal and settlement.
So whatever you present will belong to St. Francis.
Everything will belong to St. Francis, and when we're done, I want to put it in a spiral book where we'll have tabs in there where your vision, your mission, your core values, your 5-year strategic plan, all the CNA plans are all in one place, one bound, so you guys can give it out to parents and give it to students and staff, and they know what direction we're going in. Regardless of who sits in this position, this is, you're all focused, your finance, everything, resources are focused, so you know where you're headed.
So this would just be the first planning session.
Right.
Just need to do that.
But we haven't had a document like that in a long time, and we need to, so we know how to facilitate our resources and which way we're going, and I always have to say, boy, our visit to that CPE Academy and the project-based learning at Jefferson High School was amazing. I mean, so I have plans for how we're gonna do it until we look at making the transition to that CTE high school. Just need approval.
Any questions, comments, for Johnny on this Julie Consulting Strategic Planning? Okay, motion for approval. Georgia moves, second by Nicole. All in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Donna?
Yes.
5. Opposed, 0, not voting, 0. Motion carried.
The next thing is the South Dakota Department of Ed, notice of intent to apply for the 21st Century Grant. We just need to get this into the state and then before the deadline, that way, as soon as it opens, then I can go into the grants management system and put in the grant for this 21st Century, and I'm gonna gear it towards CTE in the evenings and project-based learning for the K-8, project-based learning, and CTE for the high school, utilizing what we already have over there until we make that transition to that CTE high school. Well, at least have CTE. I'm thinking of doing, for this 21st, doing the woodworking, automotive, culinary arts, what was the other one? CNA, not CNA, getting our kids certified to be a para. So they're leaving here, even before we get to a CTE academy, they'll leave, they could be a para, they'll have the woodworking, they'll have the automotive, they'll have the culinary arts, they'll have computers. We were going to do a computer base and then still do credit recovery in the evenings also, so that they can still work on their diploma also. So, and then in the K-8 we'll just do project-based learning. So that's the way I'm going to gear this grant, $250 a year.
Okay,
For 5 years.
That thing in there too?
That's my culinary arts for the evening. So that's
So when you progress into the school, because I know one thing that was big at SU and their IoT, they started but didn't get it completely off the ground. They did one year was corrections training. And we know the big need for corrections here, and if you set them up on the right foot before they get out of school, so they don't dirty their background, that they'll be able to pass it when they get out. Is that something that would be looked into, or?
I think when they do the feasibility study before we move to the transition, I think it's always possible. But right now, I think just utilizing what we have over there now for the 21st century, we would look at, again, paraprofessionals, getting them certified, getting them serve safe and production line for food service, culinary arts, automotive, and woodworking, and we could even do financing, school, accounting or something. Something that we can just buy curriculum and then we can use trade people to get them certified, alternate certification, as long as we're overseeing it with the director then. So we're really going to gear it to the CTE, career and technical. It was just, like I said, the trip was so amazing. That Career Technical Academy in Sioux Falls, they have, they do computer, what was it called? Cyber studies. Anyway, Department of Defense plucks them right out of there. They go right to the Department of Defense as soon as they leave that high school. They just take them because they're so well trained already at the high school level. And what did the guy say?
They hacked into, that core group of kids hacked into Lincoln printers and took over their printers and were printing stuff out, and they couldn't stop it until they realized it came from there and it was them. But they showed them that was their capability. So Department of Defense was interested in them because of the way they thought and the way they were being taught.
But I would have a committee together before I write the grant, and it has to go into the grant management system in the state DOE, because this is a state grant, so that's what I'll do. That way we can really look at, before we make the transition to the high school, at at least we'll have something in the career area to get kids job ready. If they're not gonna go to college, they can go in here in the after school and then have a certificate in serve safe or in, you know, if we do something with finance, anything like that, we can get them ready. So that's gonna be my goal for 21st Century Grant. All I need is your approval to do it, and then we'll get the application sent, or the letter of intent sent in.
We had this a few years back, didn't we?
We did.
A while back.
We did have it from the state, and so then, of course, I will put right in there a director to manage that after-school time for K-8 PBL and then 9-12 CTE. We did. We lost it just because they didn't document, so we'll make sure that doesn't happen.
Will that affect us in any way, or?
No.
Any questions, comments?
This will be for next school year.
Yeah, if you look at the letter of intent in there, it tells you the school year. So it's, I think, 22, or 22, 23, 24, 25. And then we can put in for the Bureau one too. We'll put the same application in for the Bureau, but we'll try both. Just to be safe, we'll put in for both. We'll put in for Bureau and then we'll put in for state too. It'll be our fastest route to CTE if we do that.
Entertain a motion for approval to submit the grant. Georgia.
Second.
Nicole. All in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Donna?
Yes.
5. Opposed, 0. Not voting, 0.
And
Motion carried.
the next one is just basically a FYI. We had Dr. Alka here doing our Danielson model for our evaluations with teachers and then actually shadowing principals to make sure that they are doing the evaluations correctly in the classroom with teachers, and then looking if they need professional growth plans that they're putting them in place. And then she worked with me for the principal's evaluation, so we're really getting a lot of good technical on-site assistance with Dr. Alka. So the first round of evaluations are done on teachers, all walkthroughs, all evaluations, and then their growth plans. So that way we can go right into contracts next year early, because we'll have evaluations done and then work with teachers to improve. So that one's just an FYI. And then basically the other ones are just the girls' games. We will take into account during the strategic planning for the girls' games and the boys' game in the ice arena on Thursday, and then anytime that we do have the games, we'll take that into consideration. And Lance is willing to work with us. Girls and boys. G and B.
And that kind of has JV.
Yeah, they have, because they, yeah. So the schedule, I put the schedules and the things in there for you. Basically, we can go to Troy.
So there's what, 8 champions in Untitled, it's gonna look like them for LNI?
6.
2 boys, 2.
Well, and then the consolation checks, of course, so. Session, reviews.
Are you guys gonna approve our reports?
Ah.
I'm not leaving then.
Nicole moves for approval report, second. Georgia, all in favor, motion, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Donna?
Yeah.
Approve report 5. Opposed, 0, not voting, 0. Motion carried. Now, get out of here. Put your powder in your mouth. by Star. I'm sorry, woke up.
Woke up. Not stretching, but I'll take it.
1, 2, 3, 4, done.
On the board.
I know.
5, opposed, 0, not voting 0. open. Star quote bid, we are asking 10 star quotes each for 4 bidders. We have 1, so advertise for 3 more. Social media, paper, radio, etc., etc. 1 bid goes to Vine Goodshield Whitelands. Dakota Star Quotes, PO Box 1101, Rosewood, South Dakota. For generations, Star Quotes have been an important part of the cultural and artistic heritage of the Dakota Oyate. Star Quotes are often presented as gifts to people who are highly honored. The quotes also play a significant role in the Dakota ceremonial life. His bid, 10 star quilts will be made according to the bid request at $175 per quilt times 10, for a total of $1,750, due upon delivery by or on before the deadline of May 6, 2022. $1,750. Quantity 10, full size, 80 by 90, concept quilt. Okay, motion for approval. Nicole moves, second. Georgia, all in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Donna?
Yes.
4, opposed, 0, not voting, 0. Motion carried. Moving on to personnel. Entertain motion for Daryl Jones, sped generalist. Nicole. Second. Georgia. All in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Donna?
Yes.
4, opposed, 0, not voting, 0. Motion carried. Entertain motion for approval. Ground security, Sydney Groom. Nicole. Second. Georgia. All in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Donna?
Yes.
4, opposed, 0, not voting, 0. Entertain motion for approval. Dakota Language Paraprofessional, Lynette Bellion. Nicole. Second by Georgia. All in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Donna?
Yes.
4, opposed, 0, not voting, 0. Entertain motion number 4. Entertain motion for benefits coordinator, Terrell Harrisher. Nicole. Second. Georgia. All in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Donna?
Yes.
4, opposed, 0, not voting, 0. Motion carried. Concessions moderator, Elda Badahan. Entertain motion for approval. Nicole. Georgia. All in favor, raise your hands. 1, 2, 3. Donna?
Yes.
4, opposed, 0, not voting, 0. Motion carried. Student council moderator, Keaton Dice? Keaton.
Yes.
Keaton Guess. Sorry about that, Keaton. Student council moderator, Keaton Guess. Nicole.
Second.
Second by Georgia. All in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Donna?
Yes.
4, opposed, 0, not voting, 0. Motion carried. Junior class moderator, Lynette Bellion. Motion for approval. Nicole. Second. Georgia. All in favor, motion, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Donna?
Yes.
4, opposed, 0, not voting, 0. Motion carried. That is it for personnel. Any others? Anything else? Nothing. Anything? Motion for adjournment. Nicole. Second by Georgia. All in favor,